بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Mufti Sahib is mentioning an important point here. First he mentions that in the hadith which is in Bukhari, that Anas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he says that I do not know that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he ever ate on a sukurruja. A sukurruja is basically like in this table. So something like this which you put the food on and you would eat. Yeah, so you have like a table with some feet, and you have a mat on the floor, and it's around it you have an elevated table. Similarly, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never ate khubz muraqqaq. Khubz is bread, roti, chapati, and muraqqaq means the flour is fine. It's not very thick flour; it's fine flour. Similarly, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never ate on a khiwan. A khiwan is like a different type of table. These different words you do hadith inshallah later on. So then somebody asked the Rawi that what did he used to eat on? So then they say he used to eat on the sufar, meaning the mats on the floor. Okay. So what he's mentioned from here is that in Urdu, nafi nahi ko mustalzam nahi. Just because there's a nafi, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't do something, it doesn't mean it is impermissible. Do you understand? As I mentioned before, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a particular way of doing something is probably the best. Fine. Let's say for example, the English toilet. The Prophet never used that. But it's not impermissible. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can do all your scientific research, it'll come to the point that this is probably better. It's cleaner, because you're not going to sit on anything that's impure. And then the Asian toilet, because you're putting your feet on the floor, and the shoes, so nothing's going to touch, so you're not going to get impure. And even, if you do research, you say that the way the intestines are, and the sitting position, and squatting position, is better for the bowels. You do all the research, that's the best way. That's fine. Whatever the Prophet does is best. However, it doesn't mean that something else is impermissible. Do you understand? The Prophet ﷺ never used a car. Doesn't mean that using a car is not permissible. However, if you walk, much better for your health. Health, the environment, you get movement, fresh mind, so many benefits. Do you understand? So what he's trying to say is that when you're giving fatwa, like, bid'ah is a bid'ah, like you have to have a lot of knowledge, a lot of juz'iyat, a lot of furu, different things, different principles, qawaid, different hadith, different Quranic verses, before you can jump to a conclusion. So here's mentioning one thing. So sometimes you need a lot of you read one definition. Like, not because everybody's got a voice, which is a good thing in a way as well. You can put your word out easily. But sometimes it's a bit dangerous as well because people are not experienced, they don't have a deep knowledge. They read one or two books and then that's it, they start giving fatwa left, right and center, this is impermissible, this is farah, this is wajib, this is sunnah, and it's like, you have to understand these things are of a lot different levels. I was reading yesterday, they said he went to, this is before when the Turks were still in charge of Hijaz, Makkah, Medina. So he goes, one person said to me, like in a very harsh way, why do you wear imama? Why do you wear imama? Sunnah. So he said, why don't you wear lungi? Lungi means the loincloth. Meaning the Prophet ﷺ, when he wore the imama, there's difference of opinion regarding the imama. Some said the Prophet ﷺ, he wore it as the Arabs would wear it. It wasn't an ibadah, it was just a custom of his people. Abu Jahl also wear imamah. You will find that in the description that, for example, in the Battle of Badr, they said if they would listen to the person who's got that color imamah, they'll be successful. Yes, remember that one from Ibn Hisham? So even the non-Muslims who wear imamah, that's a customs. So if you want to wear it, no Allah nur. Some people say it's a sunnah ibadah, some say it's a custom. And if you wear it to love Rasulullah, no Allah nur. Similarly, the loincloth, the Prophet, how the Malaysians wear it, we call lungi, what we call in Urdu lungi, the loincloth. The Prophet wore that, what do you used to wear? Trousers, what we have wear, stitched trousers. It wasn't part of the custom of this style or thing. Doesn't mean it's not permissible. So they basically wasn't saying, I'm not going to wear it. He's just trying to say that for you to be able to say, why not doing for the sunnah? What kind of sunnah is it in the first place? You don't understand the definition of sunnah. So before you go guns blazing and giving fatwa and everything, you have to understand that all of these things, they need a lot of, you have to have a lot of knowledge before you actually go. Yes, what you do, whatever you've been taught, you stick to that, you follow that. And then as you learn and you increase, that's why fatwa and become mufti is not an easy job. That's what he's saying. So the qaida is, just because the Prophet ﷺ didn't do something, it doesn't mean it's not permissible, but you should take precaution. Like for example, in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the Quran wasn't written, the Mus'haf wasn't written as it was one copy. Everybody had their own little notes here and there and knew it by heart. So Umar radiallahu said the Hufaz are being killed in battles. One battle we had in Yamama, many Hufaz were killed. We should write the Quran, at least have one copy preserved somewhere. So what did Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu say? How can I do something, Rasulullah? Never then, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So even if you're a bit worried that, let's be careful here. So again, the rule is, it doesn't make it, a Prophet never done it, it's not haram, but he was a bit wary still. So again, you have to be wary in terms of, trying to bring too many new things in. So when something new doesn't mean it's not permissible. It needs a lot of hikmah, a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. So the qaida he's mentioning here basically is, as a general rule of thumb, just because the Prophet didn't do something, it doesn't mean it's not permissible. But it could be impermissible, but you have to have more knowledge from that. You just can't say, oh, Prophet never done it, what are you doing it for? It's a bid'ah. You have to understand all the different things. Some things could be a bid'ah. Something may not be, depending on where it falls under. Yes? Understood? Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.